We are talking Lions news today, and in this video, we're going to be talking about Lions and Bears, the line. What do they have for this game? A little bit shocking, I'm not going to lie. Dan Campbell speaks upon the injuries. We're going to talk about what Dan Campbell said. Personally, I'm ready to move forward. We've already seen 1,000 videos, but we're going to talk what Dan Campbell speaks on. Power rankings, where the Lions after taking the L. We're going to get into Anthony Pittman. He looks like he's joining the Detroit Lions once and again. And we're going to get into the NFC North just a little bit. Score prediction for the game on Sunday. Lions are traveling to Chicago. Put your score predictions in the comments below. Let's get this thing started. Lions are traveling to Chicago for this Week 16 matchup. Sunday, December 22, it's a 1 p.m. game. Shockingly, the Lions are only favored by 1 point. That gives Chicago the underdog at a +1. The total over and under is 47 points. I got to keep it a buck. Take the over on both. I think this line is bad. I think the line should be favored more. I understand we lost and we got defensive injuries, but this Lions offense could have put up points. I expect it. Take the over on both. The Detroit Lions are 12-2, sporting the best scoring offense still in football at 32.8 points per game, going against a defense in Chicago that allows 20.6 points per game. That's 11th best in the NFL. They got a good defense. The Lions will be able to score, but not like the Bills game. The offense for Chicago, they're putting up 19.0 points per game. That's 25th in the NFL. The Lions defense are allowing 20.7. That's 7th. Take the over on both. The Lions defense is 7th, but they've dropped considerably after the injuries. And I do think that Chicago will be able to score some points on this game. So, question really quick. Who do you got for this game? Put DET if you got the Detroit Lions winning this game. Put CHI if you have the Bears. Again, I got to think. I do believe that the Lions should be favored in this game a little bit more. I think the total over-under is off. I understand the Lions sustain injuries, and a lot of people are giving up on the season. But the Bears, especially after they fired Flus, has not been good at all. That's a good thing. So let's go ahead and get into some of these injuries. I want to give you an update on the injuries of the players that are on IR right now. Alex Anzalone, he's eligible to return this week. I don't see it. I expect him to return next week versus the San Francisco 49ers. The Afutu Melifonwu, we'll see if he at some point gets elevated soon, maybe in the next 2 weeks. Same with Ennis Rakestraw. Waiting for him to get elevated. That's going to help out the Lions secondary. Carlton Davis going down with broken jaw. We can have Rakestraw in there. We drafted him. Time for him to step up. Khalif Raymond can return next week. We're excited to have him back on offense. Jalen Reeves-Maybin, really need him back at the linebacker position. It should be any day. We need him back significantly. The linebacker room is bad. Jalen Reeves-Maybin is going to help it out. Same with Alex Anzalone. We got John Cominsky. I expect the playoffs. We talked about that last week. The NFC Championship game, if the Lions can get there, Aiden Hutchinson should return for the NFC Championship game. That's also Carlton Davis. Expected return date. Derek Barnes may be late in the playoffs. So, look, I know we've got some devastating injuries, but we just need to wait. Really, I gotta lie. Linebacking core is what we need bad. It was really bad. But let's talk what Dan Campbell spoke about on the injuries. And he really was taking it strong, and I like it. He says, let me say this first, man. Anytime you lose players, man, it's hard. The obvious is that everybody sees that you lose players and that the production and that he is down the field, but it's more than that. It's more than this, the coaches and teammates. They bring so much more to the table. It's out there running around and trying to make plays. They bring locker room to laughs. You have bonds that you have these guys. So when you lose a guy like Alim McNeill, it's a big part of that. And David Montgomery, Khalil Dorsey, Carlton Davis, that hurts. Those hurts, man. And you hate losing those guys. But at the same time, we've got an opportunity, and I told those guys and anybody that's been hurt, Hutchinson, Cominsky, to all of them, man, can't be in vain. These injuries and these guys which put their guys and they lay it on the line, we can't let these injuries be in vain. All those players helped us get to this point, and that's the last 4 injured players helped us get to the 12 wins, and we owe that to them to finish strong. And that's how we view it. He continues on. So it means that another opportunity for those other guys, what happens is you win 11 in a row and you lose, and then sky falls. I hate to say it, but we're not going to be able to win 11 in a row again in the rest of the season. We're just not going to be able to do that. 100%. What happens when you get used to eating a filet? You're talking all of us, and everything is good. Life is good, but you forget what it's like when you had nothing and you ate your effing molded bread, and that's on the line, and you give everything you needed. Sometimes you go out there and punch in the mouth, and remember that you used to be, really appreciate what you are, and we'll do that. I agree 100%. Folks, Lions lost the game. That sucks. The loss is not what sucks. It was the injuries. Okay, folks, and so the sky is falling for the loss. I didn't believe that. The injuries, I don't believe that the sky is falling. Does it hurt? Is it devastating? Yeah, it is. It does hurt. It is devastating, but it is. It's an opportunity, like he said, for players to step up. That's what we have an opportunity for. In the comments right now, how concerned are you about injuries? 1, if you're not concerned, I'm sure you are, like me. 10, or not concerned. 10 if you're really concerned. Like, I would say I'm at 8 right now. What do you guys got in the comments below? Today's show is sponsored by Game Time. They're the fastest and easiest way to buy tickets to sporting events, concerts, comedy shows, or whatever. Their lowest price is guaranteed. That's the Game Time guaranteed. Going to a game is much better than being home. Lions are traveling to Chicago in a huge game for the Lions in the NFC North. And if you want to get tickets, our friends from Game Time has a new feature. It's called Game Time Picks. What it does, it filters out all the fluff to give you the best deals on seats, so you're not spending hours looking for the best deals on tickets. To find this feature, go to the Game Time app. Search the event you want to do in a 3D view. Select the Game Times Picks button on top of the screen, and it automatically does the research for you, and it filters out the tickets in the database to give you the best deals with the best seats, so you don't spend hours on a bunch of different ticketing sites trying to find the best tickets. You can get exclusive flash deals on tickets for football, baseball, basketball, concerts, and more. And in the middle screenshot, by the way, I think it's a fantastic feature of the app. It shows you where your seat is, and if you move the phone left to right, you can see this around an area kind of like a 3D live photo. Also, all pricing is right there for you. No hidden fees at checkout. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time today. Want a quick deal? Plug in Chat Sports and you're going to get $20 off your very first purchase under Game Time. How do you do that? Go to the redeem code section. Plug in Chat Sports. You get $20 off your first purchase. Terms to apply. You got to create account. You got to have an email to save that money. The link is going to be in the comment section and description of this video. So if you're buying Lions 6th year, make sure you're using Game Time. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets and lowest prices guaranteed. The Detroit Lions are bringing a player back to Detroit, formerly of the Lions. You've seen him probably many times in preseason games and cutting down to the 53-man roster. Anthony Pittman is returning to the Lions. It's going to help out the Lions linebacking core a little bit here. The 6'3", 224 product out of Wayne State. His career stats is 15 solo tackles, 29 total, 1 forced fumble, 1 pass defense. Again, he's been a career backup, basically a 53-man roster for the Lions. And then he went and signed with other teams, Jacksonville and everything like that. So I'm fine with the signing. I have no problem with that. He was a player that I watched in preseason many years, and I said, hey, he's definitely a backup depth linebacker. So, and right now, with the linebacking core completely shredded, this is a piece that I'm fine with right now because we need any help necessary. Jalen Reeves-Maybin and obviously Alex Anzalone is getting closer to return. That's going to help out, but we definitely need some bodies right now. And Anthony Pittman is a familiar body, and I'm fine with that. We need to turn every rock to find every body to help out this team in a big way. Let's go ahead and jump into the NFL power rankings, and there has been a significant change, but it's the same across the board. The Detroit Lions moved in the power rankings down 2 spots, from first across the board to thirds across the board. Sports Illustrated has been the most consistent one, saying first basically throughout the whole year. They finally moved it to 3. CBS Sports HQ, first to 3. The Athletic, third. ESPN, third. Yahoo, third. USA Today, third. I look at these power rankings, and I agree. I can't argue with that. It's because of the injuries really hurt the Lions. And I think it was not the loss to me that moved them down. It's the injuries. It's the injuries sustained is that the reason why they fell like this. Because at some point the defense is just going to kind of maybe collapse. I don't know. Like, it's not sustainable, in my opinion. But hey, I mean, it's just one of those things out there. So again, who do you got winning the game? Lions or Bears? DET if you got the Lions winning. CHI if you got the Chicago Bears winning this game. Let's go ahead and get into the NFC North because, folks, the Lions are now tied for first place because the Minnesota Vikings won their game against Chicago last night. Now, I fully expected them to do that because Chicago's a 4-10 football team and Minnesota is better. But we're two teams at 12-2. If you're freaking out, I would suggest slowing your freak out a little bit. Minnesota, they got a tough schedule. And remember, the Lions only got 2 losses here, one to an NFC team and the other one to an AFC team. If Minnesota can lose, and they got 2 games before the final game of Detroit, they got to face the Seattle Seahawks and the Green Bay Packers. Those are 2 teams fighting for a playoff spot. If they can lose one of those games and the Lions win the next 2 games, they'll walk up the NFC North. And the Lions face the Chicago Bears. That should be pretty easy. And the San Francisco 49ers have been falling off a cliff as of late. So, all in all, the loss definitely, it hurt. It was the injuries that hurt us the most, especially with the whole kit and caboodle. I still think the Lions will win the NFC North. I do. I have the Lions winning the next 2 games. I think they're gonna beat up Chicago pretty good, especially after the loss of the Bills, and of obviously last year's loss in the NFC Championship game to San Francisco, in which they are beat up as well. And I do think that the Lions can win the next 2 games. Then we'll figure out the Minnesota game to finish it off. If not, if Minnesota wins out and the Lions win out, then we got the final game. That's going to be a 4-2 versus 4-2 NFC North Championship game that will definitely be on a prime time. That's what it'd be. Folks, in the comment section, give me your thoughts on all of today's thing. Hit that notification bell. With that said, folks, adios.